Good morning. This is Commissioner Erin Scar, and I will call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. I am calling in from home today, so I don't have my typical script. So I will just remind everyone that the call-in number, if anyone needs it, is 1-971-254-3149, ID 866-914-607#. And if you are on the call and you need to mute or unmute yourself, you may do so by pressing *6. So abbreviated version of the morning announcement. So we'll start with the Board of Commissioners roll call. Commissioner Bell.
Good morning.
Good morning. Commissioner Fournier.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to you both. All right, we'll jump right in with Adventist Health Tillamook and Eric Swanson.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
So 15 patients in the hospital today. We have 7 surgery cases scheduled. Ambulance crews did 6 911 transports yesterday, 4 transfers, and 1 transport home. 113 patients boarding in emergency departments across Oregon, which is 10 more than yesterday. 344 patients who are ready to go home but have no place to go, and that's no change from yesterday. Let's see, I sent an email just this morning to DCI asking them how things are going with the Oregon Health Authority and getting the finalizing anything related to getting the dialysis center open, and they have not. I didn't get a response yet. I just sent the email a few minutes ago. So continuing to monitor that and help them in any way we can to get the OHA to approve starting dialysis services again. So hopefully I'll have a better update for you next week. Today, it marks the start of a huge project for Adventist Health, probably the biggest project that Adventist Health has ever undertaken as a company. And we are launching the start of what's being called our EPIC journey. And for those of you who understand electronic medical records, we currently use a product from a company called Cerner. We're one of only a handful of hospitals in the state of Oregon that use the Cerner platform. And all 26 of our 27 hospitals in Adventist Health are going to move to the EPIC platform. And so those of you who receive care at like OHSU or Adventist Health Portland or St. Vincent's, they're all on the EPIC platform. And Adventist Health has made a $500 million investment, that's billion with a B, to purchase an EPIC platform. And today we have the kickoff this morning. They're starting right now down in Roseville with the kickoff. And we're live streaming it here at our hospital for our staff. And 595 days from now, we will go live with EPIC on September 1 of 2026. So huge project that's just getting ready to start, and it will be much better for our patients and much better for our caregivers. And we're really looking forward to it. So with that, unless you have questions, I'm going to head down the hallway for the kickoff event.
Perfect. Thank you, Eric. I think that will be great. The ability to share data on those electronic platforms more easily will be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you for your time this morning. We will move on to the Coastal Caucus, and I know I heard Senator Weber chime in this morning. Would you like to kick us off?
Thank you. I hope I'm unmuted.
You are.
Morning. Foggy driving up here this morning from Albany. It was in the 30s. But didn't seem to slow traffic down at all. So anyway, I'm in Salem right now in my office, and we started officially yesterday with caucus and then the Senate meeting at 9:30 and doing all of the organizational things, swearing in of the new senators, nominating and electing the Senate president, which is Rob Wagner again, and the President Pro Tem, which is James Manning Jr., and the Secretary of State, which the Secretary of the Senate, Obi Rutledge. We adopted rules, officially appointed committees, and we had first reading of bills by title and number only. Presently, there are about 2,000 approximate bills that are on their way to us. We'll probably end up with probably about 4,000 of them by the time the session is over with. And of those, that's kind of daunting. Probably about 500 of them will be passed, but it will be interesting. Then we headed over for the joint session, and we had an address by Senate President and Speaker of the House, and then we had the State of the State by Governor Kotek, and it was all very interesting and all very well done, and it was nice to see all of those people in the House, including you, Commissioner Scar. At the
Yes, it
end,
was an
I
honor to be
realized
there.
that I had county commissioners from 4 of my represented counties. I had you from Tillamook. I had Commissioner Quayla from Clatsop County. I had Kelly Jo Smith from Columbia County, and Jessica Vega Peterson also joined us in our little conversation. So it was an excellent time to get together and see just how this all happens. And I don't know what your opinion was, Commissioner Scar, but I thought it was very well done. And so that's how we'll start. And our first session of the Senate will be on the 21st. In the meantime, we'll be going through bills. We'll be looking at what's going to go forward, and we'll begin our committee assignments also. And so that's what we're going to do. Today, I'll spend the day with Rule 27 training and the Hunger Task Force. And then at the end of the day, there is a water caucus event. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be challenging. I've already had several conversations with members of the Transportation Committee, and there are definitely some challenges that we are going to have going forward. But people are very optimistic at this point in time about how it is going to proceed. We're doing a lot of posturing within the Senate on the state of taxes within the state and how the transportation plan is going to affect taxes, especially. There are people, of course, on both sides that are saying it'll never happen. And there are people on one side that is saying, oh, yes, we need this. So one of the questions I had recently was, well, what is happening with Highway 6 and the plan that came out? Well, the plan is a plan, and hopefully it will be addressed in this session a little more aggressively than it has been. But what we're worried about most of all is maintenance right now. And with all of I've also been put on the bridge committee over at Columbia. And so that is going to suck up a lot of money, as is the Rose Quarter and some other urban issues that need to be taken care of. So hopefully, because I am really good at nagging, more of the issues will be taken care of so that we can get a little more security on our highway with, economically and safety-wise. So we're working on it. But like I say, we haven't started those meetings yet. We're going to have the final reports on Thursday of all 3 of the transportation committees from last session, and then we'll go forward from there. And so I want to also acknowledge all of the firefighters that we have sent to California. We've got 300 fire trucks, 300 firefighters down there. What am I saying? Trucks. We've got 15 teams, and we've got 75 engines at the present time. And so we are making a wonderful contribution, and it's still going on. And we can only hope that we never have to face that in our area. Because, with the timbers, and we saw in 2020 how that wind can come through and do the damage that it can. And that part of what happened there has still not been repaired, and a lot of those people are still not whole. And so we can just hope for the people in California for the best. Our first session, I don't know if I said this or not, of the Senate will be on the 21st. Right now, they're going to aim for sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays of each week until the bills start to pile up, and then we will be meeting more frequently. So I think that's all I have to say, but Commissioner Scar, it sure was nice to see you yesterday. Any questions?
Thank you, Senator. It was wonderful to see you as well. I appreciate the work that you're doing at the state level. And I do agree the State of the State was very nicely done. It was a pleasure to be there as county chairs and to be acknowledged. The relationship between the state and the counties, that is just such a valuable and important piece of all of our work. So thank you. Any other questions for the Senator? Okay, I'm not hearing any, so I'm going to ask Representative Javity if he is with us today. Looking for his phone number and didn't see it. Okay, if you are there, Representative, and having trouble unmuting, please keep working on it and let me know when you are able. Okay, thank you so much. We will go ahead then and move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Centers. Do we have Ed Colson with us today?
Well, good morning, Commissioner. It's Ed Colson with the Health Department.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the CDC recognizes January as National Birth Defect Awareness Month. It's important for us to understand that birth defects can happen for many reasons, and we cannot prevent them all. However, there are steps to help you and your baby be as healthy as you can be, such as getting 400 micrograms of folic acid every day, and taking charge of any existing health conditions you may have, such as diabetes or high blood pressure, getting the recommended vaccines, and avoiding alcohol, smoking, and other recreational drugs, and then seeing a healthcare professional regularly. If you are pregnant, your partner, family, and friends can support you in a variety of ways. Pregnancy is an exciting time, but it can also be stressful. Knowing you're doing your best during pregnancy, including staying healthy, can give you and your baby a great start. You may also find that the WIC program helpful during and after pregnancy. It's a special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, and that includes nutrition education and a supplemental food program for women, infants, and children with or at risk of developing nutrition-related health problems. So for more information about WIC services and eligibility requirements, please call us at 503-842-3943. There is no charge for WIC services, and our WIC program is in our Tillamook County Public Health Building. And then Tillamook County Community Health Clinics and Public Health will be closed this Monday, January 20th, in recognition of Martin Luther King Day. And that's our update for the Health Department.
Perfect. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Moving on, the Halem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail, are you with us today?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
So, yes, we at the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy will also be closed on January 20th for Martin Luther King Day. Also, we still have COVID and flu vaccines available, and also at-home test kits and N95 masks at no charge and are available at the front desk and the pharmacy if needed. Our pharmacy hours continue to be 9 to 5:30 and open during lunch. And of course, the clinic is open 8 to 6. And we are here to serve you. If you are interested in scheduling an appointment with one of our medical providers, give us a call, 800-368-5182 for more information or to schedule an appointment. We also have same-day appointments available if needed. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that. Okay, Tillamook Family Counseling. Frank, are you with us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioner. Frank Hanna Williams,
morning.
Director, Tillamook Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. If you have information or needing information or questions answered about any of our services or for appointments, you can reach us at 503-842-8201, or you can reach us at 1-800-962-2851. Just a couple of quick announcements today. We have there is where our prevention program is involved with a couple of programs that I would like to highlight. One is our Parents' Night Out. It is a prevention event which is going to be held at the Blue Heron on Friday, January 17th from 5:30 to 7, and it is for parents and caregivers to learn how and to get some support around having some of those hard conversations that parents have about substance use with the youth in their lives. All attendees will there'll be a meal, and adult attendees will receive a $20 Fred Meyer gift certificate. Sign up is required, and if you're interested, you can email Sarah Ermer, who is our prevention coordinator. That is Sarah Ermer, E-R-M-E-R, and her email address is sarah.e@tfcc.org. That's sarah.e@tfcc.org. The other event I want to mention is that the prevention program is looking for teens to serve on a youth advisory committee, and youth we're looking to get some input from youth to understand what might really be helpful in preventing underage substance use and addiction. We're looking to have that youth advisory committee have about 10 sessions by the end of the school year. Date, times, location to be determined, and there's space for 10 students. And we're really wanting to be able to encourage youth voice in this process. There'll be some snacks, and also a $25 gift card for every session you attend. We're looking for youth who want to contribute and make an impact. So again, you can also reach Sarah Ermer. That's sarah.e@tfcc.org if you are interested. And that is my report for today. And I'll take any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Frank. That's fabulous. I love the idea of youth involvement always. So that sounds great. Okay. We will go ahead and move on to emergency management. Randy Thorpe, are you with us today?
You bet, Commissioner. I'm here, and good morning.
Good morning.
Well, to start off with, it was a pretty busy week with some grant applications, and luckily we got what we needed to in on time, and we actually have now secured funding for a couple of plans that are required by state law that we have. And the one that we secured funding for is a countywide community wildfire prevention plan. And this plan is worked on with numerous agencies, both state and local, and also with a lot of interested parties within the county. And this plan will identify and prioritize areas for hazard fuel reduction treatments, as well as recommending methods for treatment that will protect at-risk communities in our essential infrastructure. The plan also will recommend some measures that homeowners and communities can take to reduce the possibility of ignition of their structures, their homes, and other structures that they own throughout the area will be addressed in this plan. And the signature parties to this plan will be the Oregon Department of Forestry, the Tillamook County Fire Defense Board, and of course, us, Tillamook County. The other plan that we receive funding for, which again is required by state law, is to update, it's called an emergency response plan. This plan is part of our local emergency response planning committee. And this helps the county to prepare for and respond to hazardous material emergencies throughout the county. So it was really great that we were able to secure some funding to get these required plans up and running. And the other important thing with both these plans, basically open the door to several state and federal grants, particularly the Community Wildfire Defense Grant and the Hazardous Material Emergency Preparedness Grant. So without these plans, those grants are really not available to the county. So that's the real big plus I see in getting these developed. And also temperature wise, you guys have noticed that it's definitely colder this week than last week. And we're seeing temperatures I've been seeing hovering around and below our freezing mark. So that's something that we need to take in consideration, because with these lower temperatures and the heavy frosts, we're getting those roadways are a bit icy from the overnight, like say, frost and the cooler temperatures. But on the positive side, I have seen our county road department and ODOT out spraying the roads with a de-icer. It's called mag chloride. So that's a good plus that they are also watching the weather and taking care of our roadways for us. But the Weather Service says that by Friday, those temperatures are going to dip below 25 degrees starting on Friday and moving through Sunday and Monday, with the lowest temperatures being on Sunday and Monday. So that's just looks like we're going to have some extreme cold. But the bright side is that with all this cold weather, the forecast is dry through the weekend and into the first part of next week. So we're not expecting any accumulations of snow in the higher mountains or any of that devastating freezing rain. So at least we'll not have the moisture coming from the sky to complicate our cold temperatures. So again, just be careful if you're out driving in the early morning before the sun comes up and helps dry out those roads. So with that, have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Randy. And, I just want to let you know how much we all really appreciate the amount of work you have put into finding grant dollars to make things such as these planning efforts possible. Just really huge for Tillamook County. So thank you for that work. We appreciate it.
You bet. It really makes my day when I see that approval come through. It's kind of funny what gets you all excited anymore. So, but that's one thing that really does. So I really enjoy that part of my job.
Perfect. Well, thank you. We appreciate you again digging around out there and finding this funding for us. Okay. We're going to move on to the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Bell, would you like to kick us off this morning?
You bet. Thank you. Well, listening to Randy talk reminds me that yesterday I had the opportunity to have a lunch with Ann Moorhead, who is Randy's assistant. She's an emergency management coordinating assistant. I don't remember her exact title. And we have her for 11 months, and she's working on plans for evacuation of animals. So we had a fascinating conversation yesterday about, if we have a disaster in Tillamook County, what will people do with their animals? So there are a lot of thoughts about that. Ann's going to be reaching out to the shelters that shelter people, to find out whether or not they will take domestic animals, because what happens sometimes in an evacuation situation is that people won't leave their homes if they can't take their animals. And so we're going to find out if the shelters that accept people are also accepting domestic pets and how that works. And we're talking about contacting farmers in different areas to find out whether or not they have room for any large animals. For example, is there a farm in Central County that has room for horses if somebody in another part of the county needs to evacuate their horses? So we had a great conversation about that, and it's just a really important topic, really important to think about in Tillamook County, where we have so many animals. And of course, right now, as we're all watching the horrifying disaster with the fires in Southern California play out, we're thinking about, God forbid, what if that were happening here? How would we be taking care of people? How would we be taking care of animals? And so I'd like to shout out to our local firefighters who are, of course, not listening to this call because they're in Southern California fighting those fires. So bravo to all of the local firefighters who are doing that dangerous, important work. And as I watch that play out, people from all, many states and other countries, Canada and Mexico, sending firefighters to California. I'm just really grateful for the way that firefighting organizations work together to help each other. It's commendable. I want to mention briefly that we had an excellent meeting yesterday about Holden Creek. Holden Creek is a creek that runs through the city of Tillamook and then through county property. And we had a great meeting yesterday about Holden Creek. A lot of folks came. It was the Tillamook Bay Flood Improvement District that asked me to convene the meeting. And so thanks to them for getting the conversation restarted. There was a Tillamook Creek, or rather a Holden Creek working group and a plan 10 years ago. So we have the plan from 2014. And a lot of us were not in office then and weren't part of that plan. And a lot of the people who were part of that plan are no longer involved. But we got some people to the table who were part of that plan. Claire Thomas, who's a retired natural resources teacher from Tillamook School District, was with us, thank goodness, because he was integral to developing that plan, and he was able to talk us through the history of the work that had been done in Holden Creek and all of the improvements that were made and the things that on the plan that were not accomplished, that are outstanding, that just continue to hang out there. So some of the issues with Holden Creek is that it formerly was fish bearing, but now there may be a few fish in it. Claire Thomas said that he has seen a few cutthroat trout and even rare salmon smolt in there. And so there's some hope for Holden Creek to be fish bearing, but there are problems with the creek. There are problems with it being overgrown with willows. There's problems with soil contamination. There have been all kinds of historical problems with the creek, and also it floods. It floods in the city of Tillamook, and it floods outside of the city of Tillamook in farmland. So there were a bunch of folks there from Tillamook Bay Flood Improvement District, and Tilda Chadwick Jones, and DJ Josie, and Don and Taylor Oftermauer, and Tom Anker, whose farm it is that floods. And there are people there from the city of Tillamook and Tillamook Estuaries Partnership, Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and Oregon Department of Transportation. Bill Jablonski, who joins us on this call once a month, came, and because the creek goes under ODOT as it heads out towards the river. So it was just a terrific meeting, I thought, and it's an interesting project because it isn't any one person or organization's responsibility, but a lot of organizations have vested interest in it. So we really need to come together as a group and commit to regenerating the group and the work. And so we did that. So everyone committed that, yes, this is important, and yes, they want to work on it. So we're going to get started again on Holden Creek. So I thought that was good news. And the other thing that's big in my mind this week is that we've been talking about the potential of raising transient lodging tax rates in Tillamook County. And this week we'll have a couple of town hall meetings with short-term rental and lodging owners and operators. And those will be just to talk to them about what we're proposing, about our reasons, and what we're thinking. And those will be the 16th and the 18th. And then we'll have several public hearings, January 29th, one at a regular board meeting and one in the evening, and another one on February 12th for public comment. And so we'll be talking about this a lot, but those, you can find out more about that project, that topic, all of those meetings on our website. Yesterday, folks in our office, Deb and Isabel, did a lot of hard work setting up a page on our website so people can find all that information. So feel free to go there. And I believe that information is also going to be uploaded to the Department of Community Development website. But the Department of Community Development is helping us because they have relationships with all the short-term rental owners and operators. And but it isn't their project. So just, so folks know, your comments, et cetera, should be directed to the commissioners. It isn't a community development project. They're helping us. So with that, I think I will sign off today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Lots of good information. I'm excited about the Holden Creek project. That certainly has lots of impacts across Tillamook County. It'll be great to see if there is a solution there. So that's great. Okay, Commissioner Fournier.
Hi, good morning. Well, I spent the last week and a half learning how to be a commissioner, I guess. Lots of meetings, lots of information being thrown at me, which is great. I've been in the process of meeting with departments and organizations that I will liaison with, but I would ask anybody on the call that hasn't heard from me yet to please reach out, or I will be reaching out as well to set up meetings and to have discussions so I can introduce myself if I don't know you and kind of get a handle on what your concerns might be or how I can help. I did want to mention, I'm glad Commissioner Bell mentioned the TLT. I would encourage people to go to the website, check it out, and please attend some of these meetings. I've been fielding a lot of questions about this. I spoke to a fire chief yesterday who had significant misinformation on what the goal was or what the idea was. So I think we hope to be able to present that in the next couple of weeks with these meetings and take comments to heart and figure out the best path forward. But I would definitely encourage that because there is some misinformation going around that I'm finding. This week I start my first county college in Corvallis that's put on by the Association of Oregon Counties, which commissioners go to, I guess, learn the job and, learn county processes and help me get ready for the job that's ahead of me. I'm super excited about that. So I look forward to that. It's going to take a lot of my time in the next few months. So, but people have been very great about that. A lot of organizations are used to commissioners needing to be trained. It's somewhat funny that they're ready for it. The only other thing I want to mention, which came to my attention, which was a little concerning, and I think some people on the call might be concerned. I discovered that the Oregon State Parks are closing two of our largest campgrounds in the county. Cape Lookout State Park is going to be closed for the entire year, and the Halem Bay State Park is expected to be closed until July, but could be longer than that. And we've done some estimates at the commissioner's office, and it's going to be a couple $100,000 in lost TLT revenue, which of course is going to hurt. But the biggest thing I'm concerned with is a lot of the small businesses and workers and servers and stuff and people that rely on those visitor dollars. I mean, there's thousands of visitors coming through those two campgrounds. So I'm not sure there's anything to do about that. I'm not sure if they could have timed it better. They're closing two other campgrounds in other counties, but I think we're the only one that basically the entirety of the state park system is going to be shut down. So anyway, just something that's concerning me. I'm going to be making some calls and just trying to figure out if there was anything, a better way of maybe timing that, but perhaps there isn't. And that's it. That's all I have for now. And hopefully I'll have more as the weeks progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate the updates. Okay, I will run through a couple quick updates here. the former Nehalem Bay House building up in Bayside Gardens. I've been hearing some questions about that. I think the buzz is in the community that we have a developer who has purchased that piece of property and is revamping it into what will be senior apartments. So it will not return to its function as an assisted living, despite many efforts to try to find a buyer who could make that work. That did not happen. And instead, it is a buyer who will turn it into low-income senior apartments. There was a requirement from the deed on that building that it remain a senior project, which is part of why it took so much time between the closure of that building and its repurposing. But it is exciting that Darren Murphy, who is also the developer who built the affordable units of the Bayside Commons development, is the same developer that will be working on the former Nehalem Bay House. And they have given it a new name, and I must apologize, I'm not sure what that new name is, but I've seen a number of comments on Facebook saying, is it true? So yes, it is true. That has been purchased and is being remodeled into what will be apartments. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to be in Salem for our Association of Oregon County Steering Committee and board meeting, as well as attending, as Senator Weber mentioned, the governor's state of the state. It was, as she indicated, a nice event, and as I previously said, it was wonderful to be recognized as counties for our partnership with what work the state does. And I think a great example of that is the governor's had a strong focus on services related to those who are experiencing homelessness and those who are at risk of becoming homeless. And she was able to tout some really great numbers across the state, 24,000 individuals and households who did not become homeless because there was rental assistance for them out of the work done, as well as I believe it was 4,500 households who had been rehoused. So a lot of really good work, but it was great to have her point out that that good work was actually not done by the state, but rather funded by the state and done by local communities and nonprofits. So anyway, felt good to be a part of, and her recognition that the leadership may come from the state, but the hard work comes on the ground with those organizations doing the job. So again, good state of the state. She did acknowledge that we are still in a fragile state of the state, that we are making progress, but that we must continue to work hard to do so and work together to do so. So great conversation of unity. It was wonderful to hear from both the Speaker of the House and the Leader of the Senate, who really echoed those same messages, that we all work together to get where we're going. So we hope that in this session, we will see that work come to fruition. So the other part of what I was doing yesterday is in the AOC steering committees, the Association of Oregon Counties hears different legislative concepts as they move into being bills in the House and the Senate. We review those and we determine whether or not the counties would like to endorse those bills, to determine, are they good for the county, are they bad for the counties, and to let our legislators know whether it is a concept or a bill that counties believe is a good one. So we did some work yesterday. It's early, so many of the things that we were looking at were legislative concepts that had barely gone to being bills yet. I think the ones that I'll mention that were, I think, useful, at this point, there has been a push in the last couple of years to try to get more funding to county fairgrounds. County fairgrounds receive lottery dollars, and they are supposed to receive 1% of lottery dollars across the state. But if prior legislature put a cap on it of $1 amount, which means they don't actually get their 1%. And so there has been bills in the last couple of sessions to try to lift that cap and ensure that our fairgrounds are getting their full 1%. Virtually every county has a fairground. I think the only one that is not owned by a county is in Marion County, where we have the state fairgrounds. So counties are pushed to try to maintain, update, and keep our fairgrounds in good repair. So this is an attempt to help them do that. The other thing that was a new bill this year related to fairgrounds that I think will have some real promise is one related to emergency management, allocating funding as well to fairgrounds in recognition that virtually every county has listed as their evacuation site, either for people or livestock or both, as their fairgrounds. And Tillamook County is no different. We include and expect the fairgrounds to be a huge part of our emergency plans when we do have emergencies in terms of the ability to house both livestock and people. So We'll be watching those bills as they go forward, and the Association of Oregon Counties has put our endorsement on all bills relating to funding the fairgrounds, and we'll continue to look for ways for us to testify, provide specific details to our community, et cetera. So there were a lot of other bills that we looked at, most of them, again, very early, and we will continue to track them as they evolve and, again, put our stamp of approval or not as we see it benefiting our counties. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is something I've talked about every week for the last month, I know, but I'm excited. The Housing Commission developer proposal presentations are today. So when I get off this call, I'll be heading over to Tillamook Bay Community College, where we will be hearing from the developers. I believe there are maybe 6 or 7 of them who have applied for grant funds. So an exciting opportunity to see who in our community is interested in building housing and at what scale and at what cost. So if you have time today, come on over and join us. You can also, I believe, click onto the live stream, and that link is found on the Community Development webpage. Okay, with that, I will end my report and head us over to the cities. City of Manzanita. Do we have Mayor Stock with us today? Okay, not hearing anybody from Manzanita. If you're struggling with mute, please work on that and give me a shout if I've missed you. How about the city of Nehalem? How about city of Wheeler? I know there's a new city manager there that we communicated with and shared about the call. Not sure if he was able to make it today. And a reminder, it is *6 to unmute. Okay, not hearing one. How about the city of Rockaway Beach? Mayor McNeely, are you with us?
Good morning, Tillamook County.
Good morning. I thought that was your number.
yeah, I can't hide. I can run, but
you
I can't
cannot.
hide. Well, let me kick it off here. Our monthly council workshop is Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. at City Hall in the second floor conference room, followed by the council meeting at 6 p.m. in the first floor council room. If you can't attend in person, there is a virtual option available. And like all cities, I think in Tillamook County, we'll be swearing in our new council. And for those of you who don't know, every position, including the mayor's position, was on the ballot in November. And so all 6 of us will be sworn in at the council meeting. Next, the city is accepting applications from those wishing to serve on our budget committee. We do have 3 openings. The deadline for submitting applications is February 3rd. I think this is a great opportunity for residents to get involved with city government. For those of you who know, the budget committee focuses their time during the first months of the year, so it's not a year-round commitment, but an opportunity to deal with really the bottom line for our cities, and that is the budget, and that drives everything. So encourage people to consider applying, and you can find the application on our city website. Our Public Works Department is recruiting for utility workers and treatment plant operators. Please pass this along to anyone you think may be interested. More information, of course, can be found on our website, city website's employment page. And I'm biased, I'll admit that, but I do believe Rockaway Beach is a great place to begin or continue a career in public service. Let's see, scrolling down. I'm excited about this, very excited about this. We've been working with the David's Chair organization for months now, and they've informed us that they've scheduled delivery of their shed and the all-terrain track chair for this week. With these in place at St. Mary by the Sea Catholic Church, residents and visitors will soon be able to reserve the all-terrain track chair at no cost. David's Chair mission is to enrich the lives of mobility impaired people with independence and freedom by empowering them to engage in outdoor activities they previously were unable to, free of charge. A big shout out and thank you to David's Chair, St. Mary's by the Sea, Tillamook Coast Visitors Association, and our own Rockaway Beach volunteers for making this possible. This is a big leap forward in accessibility to the beach for our community. And then last, Superintendent Emerson is finalizing a safety project in conjunction with the Neoconic School District. Dan Emerson spent late December and early January leading the effort to provide better lighting throughout the middle school and high school speed zone and main entrance along 101. It came to our attention from residents that it's pretty dark and dismal in the morning and the evening around that entrance. So it looks like we're going to put 8 to 10 new streetlights in the area, increasing visibility for drivers and students and increasing safety during those dark times in the morning and in the evenings. Just a big shout out and thank you to Superintendent Emerson. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. And exciting about the David's Chair. I know we have those in a couple of places, and I know that Visit Tillamook Coast has been very helpful in helping us begin, I suggest, because we have a long way to go to add to the accessibility for Tillamook County residents and visitors. It's an area where I think there's a lot of opportunity for greater focus as we look at how we are an all-inclusive community and can welcome everyone. So thank you for that work.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm all in on, and as is our community in Rockaway Beach, increasing accessibility. So exciting things to come, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, we will move on. City of Garibaldi. Do we have anyone with Garibaldi with us today? Okay, not hearing anyone on mute. How about the City of Bay City? Who do we have with us this morning?
Good morning. This is Mary Welch. How are you today?
Good morning, Mayor. I'm well. Thank you for joining us.
Good. Well, tonight at 6 p.m., we have our regular City Council meeting for the month of January, where we'll be swearing in our newly and re-elected council members. We'll be discussing water rates and system development charges for accessory dwelling units. So a lot of discussion we've had on those. And we're also going to be doing a proclamation in gratitude to the Tillamook County Clerk's Office staff. And I'd actually like to read that to you today. Whereas the state of Oregon has been successfully conducting elections exclusively through mail-in balloting since 2000. And whereas in 2020 and 2024, political tension and anxiety caused many to question the reliability of the vote-by-mail system. And whereas since the introduction of statewide vote-by-mail, voter turnout has increased from 39% to a high of over 86%. And the number of registered voters has risen dramatically from just under 2 million in 2002 to just over 3 million in 2024. Even with the increase in registered voters, Oregon maintains one of the highest turnout levels in the United States, with 75.4% voting in the November 5th, 2024 election. And the number of registered voters in Tillamook County has risen significantly in recent years, creating more work for election officials to now review and tally more ballots than the number of registered voters just 8 years prior. And turnout in Tillamook County for the November 5th, 2024 general election was 75.6%, with 16,616 votes received. And the Tillamook County Clerk's Office, responsible for elections in Tillamook County, has implemented a YouTube live stream enabling the general public to observe ballot processing through the convenience of their homes, increasing transparency and confidence in the process. And the staff and volunteers of the Tillamook County Clerk's Office performed reasonably, reliably, and professionally, sharing official results with the public on election night and certifying results in a timely manner consistent with election law. Now, therefore, we, the City Council and the Mayor of the City of Bay City, proclaim our gratitude to the Tillamook County Clerk's Office staff and volunteers in recognition of their dedicated quality service that has enabled Oregon voters to be confident in our election system and results. And I believe Christy Nyquist will be there tonight and will be receiving this. And we just want to just show our appreciation for the hard work of our elections. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That is a fabulous proclamation. And appreciate your support and just the information to everyone regarding elections. We are fortunate that in our small county, we know the people who are handling our ballots. So in addition, we can watch them on YouTube. We can feel very confident and comfortable that our elections are well managed. So thank you for that recognition.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So the city of Tillamook, do we have our new interim city manager with us? I'm not hearing the unmute. I know we have invited him, but I also know that he's brand new. I think this might have been his second week at best. So we will look forward to having the city of Tillamook hopefully back on this call shortly. All right. With that, I will go ahead and thank KTIL for broadcasting today, and everyone for joining us, attending, and giving reports, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:50 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.